everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Brittany. This is the Brittany Reacts Show, and on this show we talk all things entertainment news and movie news. We do have a lot to go over today. There's just finally some news picking up. There wasn't for a long time, but now it seems like news is finally, we're getting stuff, we're getting announcements, so something to talk about. So thankfully we have a long show to go over today. But how are you guys doing? Hi Brookie, hi Nicholas, hi Shelly Lee, hi CD Woods, hi The Code Fox, hi Edgeman, hi Astronomy, hi Scorpio Shadow, hi Black Star, hi Natanio, hi Francisco, hi Jose, hi Will French, and thank you to each and every one of you who comes to my show each and every day. I deeply appreciate it. So, just to go over some of the things that we're going to discuss today, we are going to go over the box office. We're going to talk about Mean Girls and the sort of backlash that's happening over it because it's a musical and they decided to hide the fact that it was a musical. So, it might not have been a good decision. We'll talk about it. Plus, we have a lot of award show stuff to go over. The Critics' Choice Awards were last night. We have the Emmys tonight. I think we're starting to get an idea about what's going to win or what's going to get nominated for Oscars, so we're going to talk about that as well. Plus a number of announcements for various other shows and movies we have to talk about, so really a lot to discuss. Oh yeah, and Mia Goth got in trouble for kicking someone in the head. So what was that about? I don't know. I do like Mia Goth a lot, but yeah, that's strange. I don't know what Marvel's going to do with her now, especially since she's supposed to be in Blade. We'll see. I will update you guys. But how are you guys doing? Yeah, Spider-Verse should be releasing soon. Oh no, Primal, you walk out of musicals? Oh, I love musicals. It makes me so sad that not more people like musicals. But let's get into it since we're talking about Mean Girls anyway. So off the top, yes, Mean Girls did open to 32 million domestically, which is the #1 spot. So good for it. This is a pretty good result for a musical comedy. Musicals don't really tend to do that well. So this is pretty good, especially since it has a low budget of only like 25 million. Now, here's the thing though. It got a B Cinema score. Now, here's why I'm bringing this up, because there was actually a very viral video on social media of a theater who apparently didn't know that Mean Girls was a musical because they tried to hide that in the marketing. And this is the audience reaction once they found out that this was a musical. I'm sorry if you hear anything in the background, guys. I can't control what my neighbors are doing as much as I might try. So I'm playing the video. I hope you guys can hear it. Yeah, as soon as the song starts, they literally start groaning and laughing at the theater. So if this was their reaction everywhere, then I can understand this B Cinema score. Now, if people went in thinking oh, I'm not going for a musical, and then they get there and they get a musical and they don't like them, then obviously that's going to disappoint a lot of people. Now, I really liked it. I liked a number of the songs. Really, the only songs I kind of like in the whole soundtrack are Renee's songs. I do think that all the songs where Katie mostly sings on it aren't that good just because she has a weak voice. But most of or at least a few of the songs I really like. Now, apparently 75% of the audiences reportedly knew Mean Girls was a musical before buying a ticket, while 16%, which is pretty significant, left the theater disappointed by the genre. So there were a lot of people who apparently didn't know at all and were very upset about it. So this I think this will hurt Mean Girls' long-term box office performance, because if people aren't going to see this because they're turned away by the musical aspect of it, that might hurt this movie's performance long-term. Brandon says no one cares about musicals anymore. Oh, I love musicals. I'm so sad that's true. Yeah, the audiences were not happy. Anna Bear says, I usually love musicals, but there was just not much original about the movie. I mean, that's true. This movie is literally just the original story from the original Mean Girls all over again. But this one has music in it. That's really the biggest difference. That and it's modern day. Astronomy says it's a gamble. People are likely to not like what they don't expect. Exactly. And I think people were expecting just another fun Mean Girls movie, and they got a musical. There's a lot of music in it too. But moving on. So Paramount's marketing president says that they didn't mark Mean Girls as a musical because people tend to treat musicals differently. To start off, saying musical, you have the potential to turn off audiences. Basically saying they intentionally hid the fact that this was a musical in the marketing because they knew that announcing it as such would turn people away. And again, that's just like so disappointing. What happened? Okay. In Hollywood's history, if you guys know anything about film history, musicals at one point were super, super popular. Like, they were one of the most popular go-to genres for a long time. And now it's like you can't even get people to want to, like, show up to a theater for one. So I have to ask, what did Hollywood do to, like, make people hate musicals so much? I know a number of you guys in my chat don't like them, so explain to me. Why do you guys... if you're one of these people that... you won't see a movie just because it's a musical. Why? I really want to know. Tracer says it's a shame because the songs are actually decent and a good gateway for people who may not be into theater, but they just set it up for bitterness and dismissal. True. I mean, if they had been honest about the marketing from the get-go, they might have gotten more theater people to go and maybe the audience score would have been better. Yeah, I agree, Crystal Clark. It is a bad marketing tactic. Primal Plasma says musicals are cringe. Okay, only crazy people start singing for no reason. Okay. So what if... Here's some of my favorite musicals. So some of my favorite musicals, I love Sweeney Todd with Johnny Depp. I love Les Mis, the 2012 version. Those are probably my top two, although I have several others that are my favorites. I love, what's it called? Moulin Rouge. Those are probably like my top 3 favorite musicals of all time. I feel like those are very well liked and generally beloved. What makes those musicals and, say, Greatest Showman different from, say, this musical or other musicals that don't do well? That's my question. I hope Wicked does well. That's the next big musical. I got my fingers crossed for that one. The Code Fox says it just feels too much like a Disney movie. Yeah, okay. Scorpio Shadow says one word, gaming taking over the musical. Are there games that are musicals? I've never heard of this. That sounds like something straight up my alley, but I think that's a very niche audience. Fatima says Hairspray is the best musical. Changed my mind. Oh yeah, Hairspray. That's another great musical movie. People used to like musicals. I feel like Hairspray is still a very popular movie. Butterkitten says, I love musicals. Songs and musicals go hard. Y'all can call it cringe, but I love it. At least they aren't the same exact thing like Disney movies. No, I totally agree with you, Butterkittens. I feel like when musicals are done well, they can hit super, super hard. You don't just have a good movie to enjoy. You also have a good soundtrack. So it just sucks that it seems like combining the two is not favorable for most people. Pitch Perfect. Those are some other good movies that people really like. People also went crazy for Grease. Thank you, Evil Connor. So there are plenty of musicals. I just don't know. I think it's something about these modern crop of musicals, to be honest. Phantom of the Opera, that's another one. Thank you. I think it's just something about these modern musicals that are not clicking with people. I don't know what it is. I really don't. But, when musicals are done well, people do show up for them. Hey, speaking of musicals that do well, why don't we talk about freaking Wonka, which is past 500 million worldwide. Now, you guys know I don't really particularly care for this movie that much, but I can at least acknowledge that it was a huge success, especially, again, for a musical. It's the highest grossing movie to feature Willy Wonka, not, adjusted for inflation. So that's pretty impressive. That's a huge win for Timothée Chalamet. It shows that people aren't against musicals entirely, which is a good thing. But I think maybe Wonka was more forthright in the marketing, that it was a musical up front. Plus, Mean Girls had the baggage of, being a retelling of a classic movie, so people just maybe didn't want too much changed. I don't know. But I'm hoping that the fact that this movie at least got 500 million tells me that at least movies or musicals still have some hope. Mary Poppins, yeah, another one. Yep. Crystal Clark says, I feel like they expect the female to be the actual remake or close to, instead of a hidden twist. It's like Final Destination becomes a musical. A Final Destination musical would be incredible. I don't know if it's exactly what you're talking about, but I'd watch it. Wait, Code Fox, you didn't even know Wonka was a musical? Oh, no. Colby B says they need to be larger than life to sell. If it's a small movie about a small topic, it's not going to sell as much. Colby B, I think I agree with you. Here's what I think modern musicals go wrong. I think why Wonka works is because it's set in like a fantastic, fantasy setting where there are Oompa Loompas and magic chocolate and stuff. So like, I think you can suspend your disbelief a little bit more hearing people break into song because you're in a magical setting. Same thing with, say, like a lot of the movies that I mentioned previously. For example, Sweeney Todd is obviously very surreal. Les Mis is based off of historical drama, but they tell it in such a heightened way. It almost feels fantastical in a way. Maybe it just needs to feel like greater than life. Maybe Mean Girls just felt too much like real life with songs in the middle of it, which might turn people away. I don't know. That's just my theory. Oh yeah, Color Purple is another musical that didn't do very well. But here's also my theory for why Color Purple didn't do very, very well. Because it also kind of goes hand in hand with like why I haven't seen the movie yet, even though I will, because I want to support this movie in theaters. But the reason I haven't seen this movie is because, and this is something I felt like a little while ago, Hollywood was starting to do good with like changing this around, but now I feel like they're backtracking. And it's that I really, with like 10 reallys, hate when, in order for an all-black movie to be made, it's usually about some trauma or slavery or like some struggle that black people went through. And yes, we have been through a lot of struggle, but like, I do not want to sit through 2 hours of pain and trauma. You know what I mean? I want more movies than just like another slave film, I'm not saying it's not a good movie. I'm sure it is, because I know the original story very well. I love the original movie, but it just feels like I thought we were moving past films like this. I don't want to go back to just like, oh, we want a black film? Let's make it a slave movie. I don't know. I don't want to. I'm going to support it because I want to support the actresses that are in it. But I don't like that, like, it seems like we're going back to that again, Okay, Natalia, you agree with me. That's great. Chicago, that's another great musical. I'm glad you guys are naming some great musicals in the chat. I love the soundtrack to Chicago, too. Cell Block Tango, I had a whole phase where I listened to nothing but Cell Block Tango for like a month. Tracer says there's more to POC than their struggles. Exactly. I mean, even though I liked Black Panther, again, it was still like more about the generational trauma of like, being black. And I'm like, can we do more than just like being about the struggle? It's just, I get tired of that. No one wants to see nothing but that for, every time, I also feel like, okay, I feel like I might as well talk. You know what? I'll save it. I'll save this discussion for the awards topic because I'm going to talk about why I don't think The Color Purple is not really getting a lot of awards attention once we get to that. But hold on, we're going to get there. Lysandra says the Yearly Slave movie. See, we were almost getting to the point where we were stopping the Yearly Slave movie. And it's not all about slavery. That's not like what The Color Purple is all about or anything. But, it is about still the struggle, essentially. And I don't want to watch movies about that, Slavery the Musical. Evil Connor, stop. But anyway, I do want to just tell you guys that Godzilla -1 will pass 100 million in the next few days. That's really great. I love that it's doing that well. I mean, really, this movie is surviving based off of word of mouth because they did not advertise this at all. In fact, I told you guys a while ago that the director of Godzilla -1 wants to make a Star Wars movie, Well, it seems like he might be able to because Dave Filoni organized a Godzilla Minus One screening at Lucasfilm with the director, so maybe, I don't know, this is me speculating, but what if Dave Filoni, he must be a really big fan of this movie too, and he's like, okay, if this guy wants to make a Star Wars movie, maybe I gotta show his movie off to the other executives so I can convince them to make him make a Star Wars movie. Maybe that's what he's doing here? I hope that's what he's doing, because I would love to see Takashi make a Star Wars film. If he signed on to one now, that would be my number one most anticipated Star Wars movie immediately, just because I know he can make a good movie. CD Woods, you gotta watch Godzilla Minus One. You too, Fatima. I know it wasn't everywhere, so you can't, but once it goes on digital, please go see it, guys. It's so good. Primal says Godzilla Minus One is playing in so few theaters. Yeah, I know, that's the issue. I think Warner Brothers is holding its back because they know it's better than the new Godzilla vs. Kong movie. You know what? Once I saw that trailer for Godzilla x Kong, I just knew. Something told me. I was like, you know what? This movie's gonna be total butt cheeks, isn't it? Like, I just can't see this movie being good. So you're probably right. But anyway, getting to entertainment news now. We're going to talk about a number of movies and shows that Hollywood is working on. And the first one we're going to talk about is Minecraft. So we have a bit of information on the upcoming live-action Minecraft movie. I hope you guys remember that we talked about this is happening a few weeks ago, or a few months ago now. Now, I still think this should have been animated, but I do have some hope for this movie, and let me explain why. So, Jared Hess says his live-action Minecraft movie aims to avoid an ugly Sonic situation. Do you guys remember that? I just can't disappoint the 10-year-olds or they're going to murder us. So first off, I'm glad that they're already thinking about, like, not trying to piss off their fan base. You know, maybe Disney and Lucasfilm and Marvel should, you know, maybe take a few notes on this. So it's nice that they're thinking about attacking this movie with the fans in mind. So that's a good sign. But another great sign is, remember when I told you guys the only way that a live-action Minecraft movie could work is if they made a very surreal Minecraft world a la Barbie? Well, it looks like maybe that's actually what they're doing, because apparently they got Grant Major, who was the production designer on the Lord of the Rings trilogy, to do the production design on the live-action Minecraft movie. So that tells me that they probably are going to do something very big and visually striking. I'm imagining we're going to get some weird blocky world, but in some weird realistic live action way. I have no idea how that's going to look, but the fact that they got the production designer from the literal Lord of the Rings trilogy tells me that we're probably going to get something visually spectacular. So maybe they're making it up for it being live action so that it at least looks cool. This gives me a lot of hope. I'm still very confused, though. Like, is everyone going to be block people? Like, Jack Black is apparently playing the lead. Like, are we going to watch Jack Black as a block person walking around? Like, I don't understand this movie yet, but at least I'm starting to get hopeful. Scorpio Shadow says, but God, please don't bring Minecraft YouTubers as cameos. Well, they had Matt Pat and FNAF. Maybe they'll have Dream or something in this movie. Crystal Clark says, live-action Minecraft movie, but with the budget of cats. Oh, man. Please do not associate this movie with cats. I don't think you want to do that to this movie. Ageman says, you hope they don't do a sequel. Oh, they definitely will if this does well, and I think it will, honestly. Yeah, Scorpio, it should have been animated. And if it was animated, they probably would have got Chris Pratt. You're right, Will. Anyway, I just thought I'd update you guys. It's looking like, at least visually, the movie might look pretty cool. So I'm curious to see what the set's going to look like. Moving on to the next topic. Now, this also should do very well. It looks like we might be getting a Top Gun 3. Now, I really didn't think we'd be getting a Top Gun 3. I thought Tom Cruise would want to stop at 2 since it did so well. But it looks like Top Gun 3 might actually happen. The script is apparently already being written. Now, I'm very excited for this. I still, to this day, have not seen the first Top Gun, but I've seen the second Top Gun multiple times because I really like that movie a lot. So I'm looking forward to this. If Tom Cruise is willing to come back for a third one, then they must have at least a story idea, because I don't think he would do it if he thought it was going to be bad. Now, saying that, I still don't think this movie is happening just because he really wants to make Top Gun 3. I think part of me thinks this movie is happening, but because the Mission Impossible movie flopped. His last one did. I think if the last Mission Impossible movie made as much or close to the last Top Gun, I don't think he'd be making Top Gun 3. I think he'd be focusing on other Mission Impossible movies, making other franchises. I think this is sort of an admission of like, oh, I gotta go back to my tried and true when I know it works a little bit, but that's okay because I'm excited anyway. I like at least the second movie. I like Tom Cruise, so I'm still looking forward to it. Anyone looking forward to a Top Gun 3? Astronomy is excited, yeah. Scorpio Shadow says, anyone feel like Top Gun is going to be milked now? I hope it's not. I don't think it's going to be like turned into a cinematic universe because Tom Cruise controls it, and I don't think they're making any Top Gun movies without him, so that's what gives me hope that they're not going to completely overdo this franchise. Laura B says they're going to be doing Top Gun until people get tired. They never learn. Yeah, probably. Maybe we'll get 4, 5, 6, 7. I hope not. I really do think Tom Cruise will reel things in. Oh no, Anna Bear, you didn't like Top Gun 2? Oh, I'm sorry. Crystal Clark didn't even know we had Top Gun 2. But anyway, I'm still looking forward to it. I'm curious to see what they do with the story. So, anyone fans of The Office? It seems like Greg Daniels, who is the creator of the original Office, is still looking for another big hit. He tried to do a space office comedy with Space Force, also with Steve Carell. I even tried to watch it because I like The Office. I like Steve Carell. I thought the concept of making fun of the Space Force was funny. But I watched the first episode and I did not laugh once. It was not funny. Not at all. So it seems like Greg Daniels is like, all right, what can I do? People only want to see me make The Office. So I'm just going to keep making more of The Office. But he's thinking about doing a whole new cast and a different company this time. So it won't be Dunder Mifflin. It'll be with a different cast of people. I'm interested in this. As long as it's a new cast, new Office, I'm okay with it. If they try to bring everyone back, I don't think it's going to work because we all saw, or if you've seen The Office, I think we can agree the show did kind of go downhill once Steve Carell left. So I don't want to see them trying to do that. So I don't want the old cast to return. I do want a new cast, but with the same writing team behind it, I think it could be good. What do you guys think about this? Yeah, Laura B, I agree. Space Force was not good. I agree. I'm glad you guys agree Space Force was not funny. Anyone gonna watch this new Office reboot if they do it? Fatima says, let's hope no one comes up with The Office the musical. They should have a musical episode. I'm sure they will. It is a classic. Seems like not everyone watched the show, but those who did, I'm sure you'll watch it. I feel like everyone will at least try the first episode, so we'll see what happens. Anyway. So, Mickey 17. You guys know this is one of my most anticipated movies of the year. It stars Robert Pattinson, directed by Bong Joon-ho. It's a sci-fi film, so it just really checks all of my boxes. And I didn't even know this, but Mark Ruffalo is also in the movie, and apparently he plays another psychopath. Apparently his character is a nasty dictator, fascist, and narcissist. He says we know the type. He's as bad as any of these assholes running around today. Interesting. I feel like now knowing there's a sociopath in the movie, and it's played by freaking Mark Ruffalo, makes me even more excited for this movie. I still don't really know what it's about, what the plot is, what the story is, but everything I'm finding out about this movie is making me more excited. So I'm hoping it's very, very good. Anyone else looking forward to this movie? Anyone else surprised by this sociopath or psychopath announcement? Astronomy says, so excited for Mickey 17. We need more original science fiction. I agree. You guys know I love me a good original sci-fi movie. I know this is not like a huge blockbuster, but I honestly think there could be an audience for this. Like, I think this could be one of those movies that, like, kind of like Everything Everywhere All at Once, just really finds an audience and blows up with that audience. I think this could be that kind of movie. Mark Ruffalo's in kind of everything lately. Yeah, kind of, but I like him, so it's fine. Who's going to be Team Edward or Jacob? I don't know. I was like hardcore Team Edward though growing up. Like, I was like Jacob Schmakeup. I like Edward. But anyway, moving on. So, Fast X. You guys know that Fast X Part 1 actually didn't do that well. Like, box office wise, it made a lot of money, but compared to its budget, which was, if you guys didn't know, Fast X is one of the most expensive movies ever made. It was made for like almost $350 million. So compared to its budget, the last Fast and Furious movie actually didn't make that much money, or actually I think it lost money. It technically flopped. So because of that, apparently for part 2, it will be a throwback to the first film with a trimmed down budget and less major locations. Basically admitting that they're going to go with a smaller budget for the next movie to try to scale things back because they lost so much money in the last one. The thing is, the last one still made like, I want to say like over $700 million or something close to it. So it still made like a decent amount. It's just the fact that the budget was so insane that's why it was a flop. So it makes sense for them to cut back their budget, but I think this is also them kind of admitting that the last movie didn't do too well. Anyone surprised by this? Anyone still looking forward to these Fast and Furious movies? I do feel like this is a franchise that is well past its expiration date. I still don't have a lot of hope for the next movie, but I don't know. Is anyone still interested in this franchise at all? Edgemon says they should just drop it. Yeah. Primal says they're broke. Maybe. Francisco doesn't care. Maybe it should be a musical. I don't know. I'd watch it. Anna Bear says I stopped watching FF movies after the second one. Oh, that was a long time ago. Yeah, it seems like most people here are just like totally done with this franchise. I think even if they do try to bring the budget down, which is a smart thing, I still don't think it's going to mean like the next one's going to be a big hit. I think we're in for diminishing returns with this franchise from here on out. This franchise needs to be done at this point. Yeah, everyone in the chat saying it just needs to be dropped. Totally agree. Moving on to the next topic. So we did get a new teaser for the Madam Web movie, the next big superhero film coming out from Marvel. Not Marvel Studios, but Sony Marvel. Still kind of counts. I gotta be honest with you guys, the more that I'm seeing from this movie, the more I think it's gonna be such campy fun. It might be so bad it's good. Like, I might actually enjoy this movie in a way that, like, I don't think it'll be good, but I might still like it. You know what I mean? Like, the same way that I felt about the first Venom movie, I don't think the first Venom movie is a good movie. I don't think it's a good movie at all, actually. But I really enjoyed the first Venom movie because I thought it was campy fun. I feel like maybe this Madam Web movie might be that. I don't know. Everything I'm seeing from it so far is just like, it could be all right. Maybe. I mean, we do have this shot of their costumes. I don't know if these costumes are the best, to be honest. I'm still not a fan of these costumes. They look very cheap, but at least, I don't know. It could either be a total dumpster fire or it could be kind of okay. What do you guys think? Better than Morbius? Well, I mean, Morbius is such a low bar. I mean, if it can't clear Morbius, what are we doing here? Yeah, Anna Bear, it could be so bad it's good. Yeah. Cheetah Viper says, I'll watch Craven for Aaron, but you're not interested in Madam Web. Interesting. I'm the opposite. I don't have any interest in Craven the Hunter at all, but I kind of might watch Madam Web. Scorpio Shadow says, because I want to have 2000s vibe in my adult life. I miss the 2000s, right? Oh, man, the 2000s were a vibe. They are very cartoonish, yeah. Anyway, it comes out in a month. Very curious to see how this movie does, considering a lot of other movies recently for starring, like, women in action blockbusters have not really been doing well, mainly the Marvels. So I'm curious to see how this does. I'm curious to also see what the Rotten Tomatoes score will be, because it could be very, very bad. Moving on to the next topic. So now we're getting to the Mia Goth situation, because this one's actually very disappointing. I was so sad when I heard this, because if you guys didn't know, Pearl is actually my favorite movie of 2022. I believe that's the year it came out. I love Pearl. If you guys haven't seen the movie Pearl starring Mia Goth, you should see it. It's a really good movie. She's really good in it. I thought she deserved an Oscar nomination, actually. But it's because of her performance in that movie. She got a lot of hype. She got a lot of fans. And Marvel cast her in the upcoming Blade movie starring Mahershala Ali. So her career is on the up. It seems like everything was going well for her, kind of like a similar Jonathan Majors situation. And then we get hit with this. Apparently, Mia Goth is now being sued by an extra of her upcoming film, Maxine, who says the actress intentionally kicked him in the head with her boot during a take. The man claimed Mia approached him in the bathroom and taunted and mocked and belittled him. If you guys can read more here that says, but basically it just says that Mia was warned to be careful, but instead the extra claims that she intentionally kicked him, and then she followed him back to the bathroom and essentially just taunted him and was like, oh, what are you going to do about it? And first of all, if you guys have heard Mia Goth's voice, I do not want to be taunted and mocked by Mia Goth. I don't know what the hell that sounds like, but that must have not been pleasant. And I'm saying this as someone who's a fan. But second of all, being kicked in the head is pretty messed up. Like, why was she doing that? That's why I put on the thumbnail, like, is she Pearl in real life? Like, is that why she's so good at playing crazy characters? Like, I mean, it's all allegation and hearsay. She's being sued. We'll see what comes up in court. But I'm also curious to see what Marvel's going to do. Like, they had to let go of Jonathan Majors because he got a guilty verdict. But if she is accused of assault here, are they going to have to let her go? I mean, she has a much smaller role in the MCU. It could be easier to do. It would be even hypocritical if they didn't. So I don't know what's going to happen here with Mia. I'm very, very curious to see how this evolves. Also very disappointed because I was a big fan. So this makes it seem like she's not such a nice person behind the scenes. But what do you guys think about this? Primal says it sounds like method acting to me. You know what? Method actors, I feel like they're just trying to be like awful to people and just using acting as an excuse. I don't know. I don't really care for method acting. I know they didn't fire her. Sorry. The Free Rocket Man. I know she's a star. Scorpio Shadow says, is it okay for me to wait for more proof? Oh yeah, sure. We have no idea what really happened. So far, we're only hearing one side of the story. I don't even think her representatives or anything have spoken out about this yet. So we don't know her side yet. I don't even know if Marvel is going to fire her. I'm just saying, like, if it does come down to, like, some sort of guilty verdicts a la Jonathan Majors, like, what would they do? Evil Connor. No, that's a quote from the movie Pearl. That's what we're talking about. I know, Anna Bear. I'm very disappointed. Oh no, Brandon says Mia Goth is going to be stopping a high school fight soon. Stop. Jin says, well, that the problem with method actors is they try to go too real. Robert Pattinson has a really good quote. He said, something along the lines of, like, you never see a method act a good guy. You know, it's always like they gotta method act like the worst people possible. That's why I just don't care for it. Okay, Charlie says the allegation seems sus. Okay, we'll see what happens. Not branding her with anything yet. We have no idea. I'm just bringing this up to your attention. Cheetah Viper says, it's all speculation now. I'm waiting for more info before judging. Yep. We'll see. Very, very curious, though. And I mean, Marvel's really going through it. Speaking of Marvel, we're going to get to a picture of Kevin Feige at the Critics' Choice Awards last night. He does not look happy. We might gossip a little bit too much about that picture, but I have a lot of theories. But anyway, we'll get to it. Moving on. Some good Marvel news. We have we have Foggy and Karen coming back for Daredevil Born Again. If you guys remember, they had already started filming Daredevil Born Again, but then they realized that the show wasn't working, so they scrapped everything that they filmed so far to reboot the show before we'd even seen MCU's version of it. So it seems like with this new version of Daredevil that they are going to add Foggy and Karen. So that's going to be great. I thought it was crazy for them to try to bring back the show without them. I really thought the original Daredevil Netflix series was great, not just because of Matt, but because the trio of them. I thought the three of them worked really well together. Karen was actually my favorite character on the show. So I was really upset that they weren't going to bring them back. Now that they are, I have a lot more faith in this show. I think it shows that Marvel's actually listening to their fans, and not just like putting their head in the sand and doing whatever they want. So I'm really, really happy that Foggy and Karen are coming back. Anyone else excited for this? Anyone else planning to see Daredevil? Yeah, it is about damn time. CD Wood says, I'm hyped for Daredevil Born Again. It's the Marvel project I'm actually looking forward to. Me too. It's one of the few projects I'm like super excited about. Edgerman says, OMG, Marvel can take notes and do the right thing. Right? Like, we get this W so rare these days. Let's just take it. CD Woods, you're hyped again. Yeah. I do feel like this probably has revitalized a lot of people's hypes for this again. Oh, Free Rocket Man says Matt, Foggy, and Karen over Peter, MJ, and Ned. You know what? I agree with you, Free Rocket Man. I think I like that trio more too. I hope they don't mess this up either. If they mess this up, they will piss off fans forever, and I think they will like probably lose trust from fans possibly forever. Once they lose that trust, it's very hard to get back. This show needs to be good, so I hope it is. Oh no, Brandon, you think MCU is going to fumble Daredevil? Honestly, there's a lot of opportunity for them to do so, just for the fact that this is supposed to be like, you know, Daredevil on Netflix was known for being very violent and gritty. And even though they're saying that they're going to allow Daredevil to continue to be mature, how mature are they going to let it be? Because they said Echo was going to be very mature, and Echo wasn't that mature. So I feel like it's still going to be a very toned down version of the Netflix show, so I'm curious to see if fans like it. Moving on to the next topic. So, as I've been telling you guys, the award show season is in full swing. And it seems like Oppenheimer is probably going to get nominated for everything and win everything. It's pretty much winning like every major award at all of these award shows. Oppenheimer won 8, including Best Picture, so that's a huge one. Best Director, another huge one. Cillian Murphy won for Best Actor. In fact, he's already won over 20 awards for his performance in Oppenheimer, so if he loses the Oscar, I'll be shocked. And Robert Downey Jr., which makes me super, super happy. It seems like he's finally going to get the Oscar this time. He's building the momentum, but he's winning all these awards, because usually these award shows that build up to the Oscars, like, kind of preview what could and should win. So it looks like Robert Downey Jr., he's winning all these awards. Now I'm thinking he's actually going to win the Oscar this time. He also thanked the cast of Oppenheimer. He called them his Oppen homies, which is really cute. He also called out all the critics who gave his performance bad reviews this year. I thought we'd listen to some of the awful reviews he got, which I thought were pretty funny. He really comes for the critics in this one. Again, this is a critics show, so I mean, it's fair.
The first one's kind of like haiku. Sloppy, messy, and lazy. The next
Some people
one's
didn't
more
like his
metaphoric,
performance in Oppenheimer.
like Pee Wee Herman emerging from a coma.
So it's surprising that he's getting all these awards, since I thought
This was from a Brit.
his
A
reviews were
puzzling
mixed.
waste of talent. And lastly, in this one lingered, amusing as a bedlocked fart.
I mean, I think that's a pretty great speech to go up there at the Critics Award show and read all the bad critics reviews he got as he wins his critic award. Even for all the mixed reviews he got for his performance, he's still racking up these awards, so I'm happy for him. Yeah, Evil Connor says he's just playing himself and everything. Well, I mean, I definitely think there's a lot of similarities between him and Tony Stark, but I think he was playing quite different in Oppenheimer. Scorpio Shadow says, this is why Robert Downey Jr. will always be my favorite actor ever. Yeah, he's a great actor. I think he is probably one of my favorite actors at this point as well. Now, I feel like part of Robert Downey Jr.'s whole awards campaign this season has been about the fact that he wants this to be his career award. So it's not just about Oppenheimer. It's about all of his work in the MCU and really carrying that thing on his back. You can tell he feels like he felt he deserved more recognition from it other than just the money. Robert Downey Jr. says he has some of his greatest acting work playing Iron Man, but believes it went unnoticed because of the genre. He's talking about unnoticed by the Academy. And I think he's right. There are a lot of great performances from him across these Marvel movies that I honestly think for Endgame or Infinity War, he should have been nominated. Not just because I thought he was good in them, but for carrying this entire major mega billion-dollar franchise on his back for over a decade. I feel like that is worth an Oscar. I really do. So I'm happy that he's getting all this momentum. I'm happy that he is tying this to Iron Man, and he is like not just making this about Oppenheimer, because I do like feel like he deserves some sort of awards recognition for his Iron Man work. But what do you guys think about this? Do you think he's right? Anna Bear says he really turned his life around. Yeah, I agree. I'm glad Robert's getting love too. Scorpio Shadow says, oh, I already had that. Evil Connor says his best role is in Weird Science in the 80s. I haven't seen that one. I gotta watch that one. I want to watch this Charlie Chaplin film too. Endgame is probably where they would have considered it. Yeah, honestly, there were some rumors in 2019 that they were thinking about giving him an Oscar campaign for that movie, but then RDJ decided not to go through with it. I think he should have gone through with it. I think he deserved to be nominated for that, but at least he'll get a nomination for this one. Now, speaking of Marvel, there were a lot of Marvel reunions at the award show last night. Sorry. Like last night, we got Tom Holland and Robert Downey Jr. reuniting, which is really, really nice. I love seeing Spider-Man and Tony Stark reuniting again. Plus, we got Tom Holland with the cast of Across the Spider-Verse. Oh, not just the cast, but also like the writers and producers and so forth. So it's nice that he's with them. Makes sense for him to be, meeting up with those guys. And this is the picture I wanted to share with you guys earlier. Because Kevin Feige and Steven Yeun reunited at the Critics' Choice Awards last night. Now, here's why this picture is interesting. You guys remember recently, like maybe a week or two ago, Steven Yeun actually left the Thunderbolts as Sentry. Pretty unexpected. I don't think Marvel was expecting it. He just stepped down for scheduling conflicts. You guys know I don't really believe that it was actually scheduling conflicts. But it seems like they got to have a chat, him and Kevin Feige. Him and Kevin Feige got to have a chat. Maybe this is Steven being like, oh, I'm so sorry I had to drop out of your movie last minute. I don't know what they're talking about, but does his face, Kevin Feige's face, not look like a man that is very upset? Like, I'm not trying to be like I hope, just look at his face. Does this look like they're having a positive meeting to you? Maybe this was just taken out of context. I don't know. But to me, this looks like Steven Yeun going, hi, Kevin. I'm so sorry I dropped out of your movie last minute. And him going, yeah, thank you. You fucked us over. I could be projecting a lot onto this image. But tell me he does not look like a happy camper. He does not look like he's happy to be talking to him right now. So I had to share this picture because I just thought it was really interesting, and I just feel the tension through the image. Like, I just feel it. Does anyone else feel it? Do you think I'm making stuff up? Do you guys see what I'm seeing here? I feel like this was not like a happy meeting. Like, Kevin must be really upset with him. Primal says Steven Yeun is too big for the MCU. You know what? I think he could get better roles than Sentry. Honestly, I think Thunderbolts is probably going to flop no matter what. So he probably avoided a major disaster in his career. I don't know. Scorpio Shadow says any bet Steven Yeun is mad/smirking. I have no idea what he's doing. I do have a super chat from Dee Dee. Thank you so much for the super chat. While I agree with Robert, I don't want to open a gate where superheroes begin getting Oscars. Sorry. True, but I don't think every superhero actor is like RDJ. RDJ did something very unique and special with the MCU that literally no one else has been able to do for any other superhero role. So that's why I think RDJ should get the Oscar. I don't think this is going to start something for other actors. I think this is just something for him. Okay, Francisco, you agree with me? Yeah, I don't think this meeting was a happy one because Kevin's face just reads not happy. Who else agrees with me? Cheetah Viper says Steven knew it would hurt his career. He made a wise choice. Yeah, I agree. Scorpio Shadow says he looks upset. Yeah. Lysandra says it looks like he's being nosy. Girl has her phone out. Yeah, he could be looking at the girl's phone. I don't know. I thought it was a very interesting photo that looked like there was layers to it. Like, I'm just wondering what must be going through Kevin Feige's mind lately. Like, he was on top of the world just 5 years ago in 2019 when he was putting out like $1 billion hit after $1 billion hit, even $2 billion hits. And now he can't even get people to go see like the Marvels, you know? It's just, I wonder what he's thinking. Anyway, I just had to share this photo. Moving on. So Barbie also did win a lot of awards. At least it didn't get snubbed like it did at the Golden Globes. Got 6 wins, which is really nice, including a win for I'm Just Ken, which Ryan Gosling probably had the best reaction of the night. It immediately became an instant reaction. I mean, it went viral. This has 25.1 million views because of his reaction to this. Just look at this. I just thought this was funny. He's like, are you sure? Are you sure? Are you sure you want me to win? Like, he doesn't really believe it. Still, he's like in disbelief. I guess he didn't think he'd win. I guess he thought Billy would win. A lot of people thought Billy would win. I mean, she did win the Golden Globe. I just thought it was funny, his reaction. He was just like, really? I'm Just Ken won? I don't know. I still feel like I'm Just Ken has like a legit chance at winning the Oscar. So I think it's between I'm Just Ken and the Billie Eilish song. Either way, Barbie's going to win that award. But yeah, I just thought it was very, very funny that Ryan Gosling's reaction was just like, are you sure? Are you sure you want me? He was like, that can't be right. No. He felt mad when he left. What do you mean? I know, it's a very, very real reaction, which I can appreciate. Honestly, I mean, I like I'm Just Ken. Even though I thought Peaches deserved the win more, I can at least like that, you know, this one. I don't hate this song. Anyway, other awards that it won. It won Best Comedy, so that's the other big movie award. Basically, it was a big Barbenheimer night, which I've been telling you guys. I think that's pretty much how the award season's going to go. Barbie also got Best Original Screenplay, which is nice, and it sucks that Barbie got moved out of the Best Original Screenplay nomination category. But at least it got this win here. It also got Best Production Design, which is a no-brainer. I feel like if Barbie loses Best Production Design at the Oscars, like, what is the point of the Oscars? Like, I feel like Barbie is the kind of movie that entire category was made for, you know? But anyway. Also, Margot Robbie, she's still dressing up like Barbie. She dressed up like Radiant Rose Barbie, which is pretty nice. I just like that she seems very, very committed to the whole Barbie thing. She's not letting that go, which I can appreciate. Also, the Emmys are tonight. Again, lots of award shows happening all at the same time. The Emmys are tonight, and it looks like, again, we have a lot of the same shows that are going to get nominated, that have been getting nominated. I don't usually talk about shows, but Succession's getting a lot of awards. The Last of Us, typical stuff. Wednesday's getting 12. I don't know if any of you guys watch these shows, but these are the popular shows getting nominated, and then the popular movies getting nominated are like Barbie and Oppenheimer. But what do you guys think about all of this? What do you guys think of how the awards season is shaping up so far? Tell me your thoughts. Edgeman says they're trying to sideline Barbie, I think. Yeah, to be honest, I think Oppenheimer's going to win everything. I think Barbie is probably just going to get a lot of technical awards and then like maybe best original song. I think they're going to get shut out of a lot of the big awards, unfortunately. Scorpio Shadow says, I love how Margot Robbie is still wearing Barbie clothes. I know, right? She's very much committing to the part. I appreciate that. Rodney Dollar says, still don't think Barbie's chance at Best Picture isn't over yet. Oh, I hope so. I would love for Barbie to win Best Picture. It just doesn't look like it's going to happen so far. But I would love for that to happen. Any other thoughts on the award season before we move on? I do have WTF news. You guys are talking about the shows. Yeah, I'm glad Succession's getting all the love because it's the last season. I would choose Succession for everything, but you guys know I'm biased towards that show. You don't watch the award show anymore. Yeah, a lot of people don't. Anyway, moving on to WTF news. So you guys know that Nicole Kidman ad that plays before shows, like before a movie when you go to the theater? Well, apparently they're auctioning off her suit for $5,000 to $10,000. Now that's actually not a crazy amount of money, but the fact that it's being auctioned off at all just shows you how crazy viral and like impactful that AMC short is. I don't know if you guys have been getting this, but every time I go to the theater and this whole Nicole Kidman thing cuts on, there's always at least a few people that cheer. There's usually some people who clap. Like, people love this thing. Like, people quote it. I've heard people quote this thing in my theater. So the fact that this is, like, they're auctioning off her suit is just funny to me. I thought this was really funny. Well, what do you guys think about this? Would anyone want to buy Nicole Kidman's suit for $5,000 to $10,000? The ad is super filtered. Oh, wait. What do you mean the ad is super filtered? I do wish that they would add more movies to the screen. Like, we've had the same movies for a couple of years now. I feel like they should be updating that. It's not an AI ad. You've never seen this ad before? Well, it's only in AMC theaters. You've never heard anyone quote it in your theater, so maybe it's just New Yorkers. I mean, and New Yorkers are very lively people. So maybe it's just like that in New York. I don't know. But anyway, this ad is so big that the suit is getting auctioned off. I think that's crazy. But anyway, that's it. That's the end of the show. Thank you so much for coming to the show and just sitting and chatting with me about movies. This is very nice, and I enjoy doing this. I'll see you guys on Wednesday for the next show at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thank you for being at my show so late. Sorry it was late. I didn't mean to make it go on this long, but I had no choice. Thank you guys. I'll see you guys on Wednesday. This has been real. Bye.